welcome. Today we're just going to give a quick overview about the Bond in Motion. I got a chance to experience it. It's in Saratoga Springs. It's in upstate New York, just north of Albany, exit 13. It's right off. It's at the Automobile Museum. It's right off the highway. If you guys get a chance to go, it is absolutely worth the trip. Just going to give a cursory overview. I look at what's there to offer, and I can tell you right now, if you are in the area, if you're driving distance, not too bad. Absolutely see this exhibit before it goes out of style. As you walk in, you're going to see first thing, you get to see a little bit of the Aston Martin keychain, a little bit of merchandising as you come in. And this is the first picture that you see, and it kind of sets the tone that this is going to be pretty cool. And then right to the left, as you walk through, the first exhibit you see is the Die Another Day snowmobile. It's one of the few exhibits that you can actually sit on and experience and take some pictures with. Pretty cool sight, and you're automatically like, oh, all right, this is going to be all right. And you move on, you turn it into the three-wheeler from Die Another Day. It is just as ridiculous in person as it is in the movie, but still kind of cool to see a little bit of Bond. Is it almost infamous for how corny it is? But it was pretty cool. And there's the Ford Mustang Mach that was also featured in Diamonds Are Forever. Very cool, very beautiful piece of machinery in person. Absolutely impressive in person to see. And you keep going on. Here it is, one of the most iconic. There's the whistle, the spin, everything. It is just absolutely cool to see. Just more, the car itself isn't as impressive as some of the other ones are, but it is the AMC Hornet from Live and Let Die. To know that that stunt was done in such an iconic moment in Bond history was really cool to see. Again, the car itself wasn't as impressive as others, but definitely worth it. We go on to the Lotus. This right here was really cool to see. This one is the one not in wheel form. This is part of the one that was submerged. They made several of them for the film The Spy Who Loved Me. This just happened to be one of them that they did. And here's the scene as it goes in. Is they did it in stages, so they would build one that could, a couple of these. One had wings, one didn't. The missiles, there's all sorts of ones, but this was one of the ones that was actually the submersion was. So it was pretty cool to see. I think it probably would have been a little cooler to see the one with wheels that kind of worked. But at the same point, you get to see, if you look inside, you get to see a lot of the movie magic they do, the hydraulics they do, all the things that they put into the car to make it seem like a normal car on the outside, but on the inside, all the movie magic happens within. And it's just a legendary, iconic scene. So absolutely cool to see this in person. Then you move on. It's from the same movie, The Spy Who Loved Me. This thing, this very first rudimentary Skidoo or Sea-Doo. It's just as pathetic in person too, but it is a little bit of an iconic movie. Here is the Aston Martin Vantage from the Living Daylights. Inside here, you got to see a lot of the hydraulics too, a lot of the things that the movie producers put in there or the tech people put in there to make it movie worthy. Then you move on, you get to see Neptune from For Your Eyes Only. Some of the movie scenes that you see inside the interior where Bond is, they definitely took liberty on that because that thing is very small when you see it in person. Looks cool, looks amazing, absolutely really cool to see in person. Unfortunately, you didn't get to go inside. I was kind of hoping you would get to go inside and check it out. They didn't allow that, but it still was very cool to see it in person. You're going to see some other shots here in a second about how small the interior was. Yeah, you're starting to see it now as it comes into play. Seeing it through, this scene, there's no way they did that in the actual thing, because that is very small. It is very, very claustrophobic to look into. I can't imagine they want to spend too much time in there, and here's a pretty good shot of it. You can see all the hydraulics, the movie magic that they put into making that set-worthy, movie-worthy, and what it had to be to actually be functional for the time. Very interesting piece to see in person. Then the Tuk Tuk Taxi. Just nothing special here, but it's again cool, and to see the way the wheel works, it literally looks like a bicycle. So that was cool. If you didn't know it came from a movie, you'd be like, would anyone possibly put this into a James Bond movie? Is this a James Bond car? And yes, I had to explain to people, yes, this was actually from the James Bond movie. And they're like, what movie is that? It's from this movie Octopus. You have to like it. This is the model that they use for the Goldfinger plane. So some of the shots you see it as it's going through the air. It's just a model work, which they used a lot back in those times. There it is, right there. So that is the one they used. Pretty cool to see that. This is the Aston Martin Vanquish from Die Another Day. Die Another Day has a lot of vehicles, and it makes sense because there's so many vehicles in Die Another Day. But it was cool to see these. And these Astons are just beautiful, and on that interior you see a lot of the work too. So all these things from these movies was absolutely fantastic to experience live and in person. And then here's another motorcycle from one of the movies. Kind of cool to see. You didn't get to touch that one. You didn't go on, but this was right here a highlight. This is the Aston Martin DBS from Casino Royale. This is the one that broke the record for the flips. This is the one you see in the movie, and you see it's pretty messed up now, but they kept it, and this is so iconic to see. To know this was the one that did all those flips. This was the movie. This was the car. One of those moments where you step back and you just kind of stare and enjoy the moment of being there, seeing that. And when you're, a diehard Bond fan like we are, it's special. This is a DBS from the Quantum of Solace. This is the darker colored one that you see in the film. And this is one of the ones that was all shot up. Very cool to see. This is the one that gets this door ripped off, and you can see in a second. Bullet holes everywhere. Still, you can see the dirt and soot. They never even cleaned it off. Like, this feels like you just took it right off the set, even though it was so many years ago. But to see it and to see what they do, and to know that this was the one from the movie, absolutely a special experience. And here's what you can see: a lot of the damage they did, the scrapes, the marks, the door taken off. This is the one Bond sat in. This is the one that came through. Beautiful to see. And just one of those times when you sit back and you look and you think, wow. First of all, I can't believe they destroyed such a beautiful machine. I mean, I could have definitely taken this on your hands. But it makes you wish that scene would have taken a little more liberty to show just how cool it was and not have so much editing. But yeah, there's a good look at it right there. In person, you can see that they gave this the work. But beautiful machine. And the added bonus of knowing that this was in the movie just makes it that much more special. This is the BMW 750 IL from Tomorrow Never Dies. Just as corny in person. This is like you've seen a million of these. There's nothing special about this, but maybe for people who really like Tomorrow Never Dies, they'll like this is the motorcycle from Tomorrow Never Dies. An iconic moment. Right, that he jumps over the helicopter, very Die Another Day and Tomorrow Never Dies were pretty heavily represented in this one. But this right here, the Aston Martin DB10 from Spectre, an absolute gorgeous machine in person. Unbelievable. I cannot tell you how beautiful this thing was. This picture does not do it enough justice. Absolutely spectacular. And here's a overview of all the cars. This is one of the rooms that was set in. There was multiple rooms where they featured these Bond cars. This is the one that had. This is the one that was probably the most iconic one with the Casino Royale, the Quantum, the Aston Martin DB10. Just beautiful pieces of machinery. And when you see them in person, these pictures just don't do it justice, especially when you're a diehard Bond fan. But there's one left that was there. There it is. Oh my God, DB5. Just iconic in every sense of the word. It almost is like a religious experience when you are next to it. You have seen this in so many movies, in so many of the classic ones that you absolutely love and rewatch so many times. And to see it in person, to be so close to it, to look inside, to see the ejector seat, to see all the buttons there, the mapping, all the things that you came to love from the Goldfinger to every other time it was used in Skyfall, in No Time to Die even. And you can still see the tire shred wheels and all that. So it was, there they are right there. You just kind of step back and you look and you just have reverence for it just because it is such a beautiful car. It has so many iconography attached to it. You think of all my favorite movies has the DB5. GoldenEye, Casino Royale. These Goldfinger, they have this car, and it's featured prominently. And to see it in person, be able to stand next to it, enjoy it, soak it in. It was very much almost a religious experience to be in that moment, to see it, to, you know, there it is. That's the one. Not only just did you get a chance to see a DB5, but you got to see the DB5 that was in the movies. And yeah, I mean, if you are a diehard Bond fan, you get a chance to see this. You get a chance to go to this exhibit in Saratoga. Go. I know there's a couple other ones going on across the world, but if you get a chance to go and experience this, absolutely go. Absolutely see it. I can't recommend it enough. And it's fairly priced. It's only, I think, $20 a person, and you get to see the cars, the moments, and to see it in person, to be next to it. Truly, kind of a religious experience, kind of an unreal experience. I cannot stress enough. If you get a chance, it's in Saratoga Automobile Museum. Go check it out. It'll be worth every bit of your time. Until next time, this has been Quantum of History. This is the Bond in Motion exhibit. Go see it. Go check it out.